Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Do want to tell you guys about a new Steam event that has just kicked off, and it is the Steam Detective Fest. There's a lot of deals available as a part of this, and there's one interesting deal that I'm gonna highlight right off the top, and I think this is a deal that will honestly change perspective in terms of how to approach certain Steam sales and things of that nature, and I just find it interesting to talk about it from kind of like a meta perspective. So we'll talk about that. Some other good deals are available, but right off the bat, Detroit Become Human is on sale. No, it is not settling into that deep discount price point of 90% off for $3.99. That is not going to be its regular discounted price. It is 80% off for $7.99. And this is something I think is very smart. Not from the consumer standpoint. Obviously, like if it was up to us, we would have this game discounted 90% off for $3.99 all the time, but this is kind of what Steam, and I don't know who's really the decision maker as far as when games see what discounts. I'm sure in the case of Detroit, it was probably a Quantic Dream decision that they wanted to put the game at a deep discount for once in that, during the winter sale, maybe Steam was like, hey, we'll promote it. Again, I don't know the exact ins and outs of how that worked, but for several years, people have kind of figured out how Steam sales happen. It's just that none of these deals really matter in the sense of they'll just come back. They're just always going to come back. There is actually no point in picking up deals in the sense of if you're not going to play a game immediately, it'll eventually be at that price again, and probably it'll be at that price very quickly. Well, now the actual idea and the comprehension of these sales is going to shift a little bit, because now we can see that a game like Detroit Become Human, it's not always going to be $3.99, and I think for Steam to add a little bit of juice to their sales and actually have deals that people go like whoa over, they need to have deals like this that every sale, the winter sale, the summer sale, the spring sale, whatever, the autumn sale, you have a couple deals that they are only available for that set sale, and they're available at a ridiculously low price like Detroit was for $3.99, and then after that, that price literally can't come back for a couple years, because this doesn't work if the price comes back in like 6 months. Then it's just like, alright, things haven't actually changed, and you're just trying to be a little bit sly with it in the sense of, oh, we'll up the price, the discounted price after that, if you guys are getting what I'm saying. And honestly, it's very much to tackle that psychological aspect of, oh my god, I'm gonna miss out on this deal, when at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter, because let's be honest, of the 1 million or so copies of Detroit Become Human that were sold during the winter sale, let's be honest, how many of those people are gonna play the game? However, certainly selling those copies beats out the game being at $7.99 and then not selling those copies, or not selling anywhere near the number of copies that you did. So it is going to have to be this balancing act of offering these ridiculous deals or really great deals every time one of the major sales rolls around, but then also not trying to go back to the well over and over again, because there has to be value to that said deal. And I think that's just going to be a really interesting thing to see. There was another deal like Walking Dead the Telltale Definitive Series, which was $4.99, and then it didn't go on sale for $4.99 all the time, but it did go on sale again for $4.99. So I think Detroit will eventually come back on sale for $3.99. I'm just curious when that is going to be, because coming right off the heels of the winter sale and then putting the game on sale again, but this time for $7.99, I just do find that to be a little bit humorous, and I've even seen people bring it up, like, dude, this game was just on sale for $3.99, why is it $8? Well, because that $3.99 price point cannot be normalized across the board, and I actually think this is really smart in terms of juicing up some value with the Steam sales that happen. And so often you do see people say, oh, these sales are the same things over and over again at the same price points. Well, doing little things like this, and then think about it, the report is that this game sold 1 million copies during the winter sale. You need to do stuff like that, and more than anything, remember that they are going to be doing stuff like this, and it's still going to end up selling these games to people that probably won't play the game in a large portion of the instances. However, you need to kind of do some things to increase the allure of the sales. I mean, you don't need to do anything, let's be real. Valve's making money hand over fist, but I just think it's smart to go about that direction. With that being said, Detroit is $7.99. It's absolutely worth that price point. Like, if you just assess it as a game worth $8, is it? Yeah, it's absolutely worth $8. However, given that it was just $3.99, I probably wouldn't pick it up, so keep that in mind. There is the Steam Detective sale going on right now as well. There's some pretty good deals available as a part of that Return of the Obra Dinn. 40% off for $11.99, which, you know, that game is really well received. Pathologic 3 is on sale. Phoenix Wright, or I should say Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy is 60% off for $19.99. That's a part of the Detective sale, but that's also part of the Capcom sale, which is about to end, so I imagine that it is going to be getting pulled from that sale, unfortunately. Call of Cthulhu is $2.99. Sherlock Holmes The Awakened is on sale. Shadows of the Doubt on sale. Heavy Rain is down to $1.99. Disco Elysium is another one of those games, man, that it was 90% off for $3.99 during one of those Steam sales recently. Well, now it's been juiced up all the way to $9.99. I mean, those couple of dollars, man, they make a big deal. So, yeah, there you go with that. And speaking of price points on Steam, you guys see that post about Peak and how they came down with the $7.99 price point? I'm gonna do an entire video on it because it's just so funny, and that statement deserves an entire video, but I totally get where they came from with the price point of this game, and I think the price point of Peak is one of the major reasons it really did generate a lot of interest. It's 38% off for $4.95. Good deal on Peak given how much attention it's gotten as a co-op title. Overwhelmingly positive reception, 111,000 reviews, 95% positive, but yeah, the game's just been a resounding success, so go check that out. $4.95 on that. Then Stray is 40% off for $17.99. Stray is one of those games that came out back in July of 2022 and has still held up in price. I kind of have the feeling that this game's gonna be a humble monthly title at some point, and it's gonna be one of the headlining games. Like, this game just has that vibe to it, I feel. But hey, this year it'll mark 4 years since it's been out, and it hasn't been a humble monthly title yet. It hasn't been in a humble bundle, I don't believe. So, yeah, $17.99 on that. It's a great game and definitely would recommend it. A little bit on the shorter side, but I think from an atmosphere standpoint, it's great. Would highly, highly recommend that. Next up, we've got Mullet MADJACK, 30% off for $13.99. This has been on my to-play list for a while. This game came out a couple of years ago, May of 2024, so just about to hit 2 years old. Man, it's got such a crazy art style to it. A high-octane action shooter that puts you directly inside a classic anime. Pick your favorite weapon and reach the last floor. Beat your best time or try again. Haste makes waste of your enemies. 4,400 reviews, 97% positive there, so check that out. Neon White is 60% off for $9.99. Incredibly well-received game here as well, an 89 on Metacritic. A speedrunning FPS where you can sacrifice your guns for godlike parkour moves, 11,000 reviews and 98% positive there. You'll collect soul cards to attack your foes or discard them to use unique movement abilities. Compete for the best times by cleverly combining cards to discover massive shortcuts. Uncover Heaven's mysteries by getting to know the other assassins. Did you know them in a past life? That is available for $9.99. And then lastly, Darkwood is 80% off for $2.99. A new perspective on survival horror. Scavenge and explore a rich, ever-changing free roam world by day, then hunker down in your hideout and pray for the morning light. 80% off for $2.99 on that. Really well-received game there if you're looking for a survival horror title there. But yeah, $3 on that. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, I know I went on a bit of a tangent on the Detroit Become Human thing, but I feel like it was something worthwhile mentioning. But yeah, I do foresee that being something that, you know, you should assess going forward in terms of buying titles on Steam sales, but also be aware that this is going to add that layer of FOMO that I think a lot of people are going to get baited by. I think so many people, and myself included, I'm not even trying to pretend I'm better than anybody when it comes to this, but so many people going forward are totally going to get baited by that deep discount section on the Steam sale, and I mean baited in the sense that, oh my god, it's 90% off right now, it's $3.99, I got gotta get it. And then let's see how long those games end up in your backlog. I would love that data to be public. Of the people that buy Detroit Become Human, how many people play less than 30 minutes of the game, or, you know, don't play it at all for the next year or so? And I think it's going to be a staggeringly high number. I don't know if it's over 50% of that million sold, but we shall, I mean, I was about to say we shall see, but well, I guess we'll really never know. But I think it's going to be a really high amount of people. But nonetheless, there you go with that Detective Fest on Steam right now and a lot of other deals. Links to everything in the description box below. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.